I have to get a new phone. Actually, I got a new phone. I just have too much stuff on my phone. I need more storage. I got the 256, whatever, but anyway, I even pay for storage because I have a lot of photos for makeup and stuff like that, and I have too many videos, stuff like that on my phone. Anyway, I'm always running out of storage, so I always have to like upload a video, delete the stuff, and then finish it. So I'm sorry that my video got cut off, okay? But I think I was saying that basically, yeah, anything but bad treatment. Like basically, I was married with one person for 17 years of my life. In fact, my entire like growing into adulthood, I was married. So I come from a married woman's perspective. And I also was raised and groomed, if you want to say, by a family that stayed together, okay? My mother and my dad, you know, like a married couple. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So, like, I also saw my grandparents, you know. So, anyway, I have marriage all around me. Successful marriages all around me, okay? Now, I know there's a lot of unsuccessful marriages, but I come from a married woman's perspective. It's very hard for me to operate in any other mode. I don't know how to operate really in like dating, you know, all this weird friends with benefit stuff, or single, but not really single, or whatever. I don't know. And so even like when I'm, you know, it's hard when I'm in a relationship, it is hard for me to not be like wifey, but I've definitely changed a lot of that because of, it's just not where I want to spread all my energy anymore. I no longer want to spread my energy. And I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, I love to cook. I can cook, but I don't need to prove my cooking skills to nobody. I've been married and then I was remarried also for 6 years. So like, it is what it is. I like to cook, but I'll cook when I want to cook. Okay? And I'm not over here trying to impress anybody's mama if I can cook, right? So I'm not in that stage of life anymore. I don't have little babies. You know, I don't mind children. I don't mind little babies. When I'm around them or whatever, I definitely don't mind them. I love them, in fact. But it's like time to kind of like focus on myself and enjoy and have those little enjoyments. And so I, you know, am very much trying to express that I've always been the type of person, even while married or whatever, and definitely single, I can entertain myself. I literally can entertain myself. I have lots of things that I like to do, that I can do. I mean, like, yeah, you know, me and Chat, we're friends now. We're homie lover friends, and we get down. We're talking all the time, whatever, right? Like, okay, I have stuff to do. I mean, you know, like if I'm doing makeup, fine. Even if I'm not or whatever, like I'm just one of those people that just depending on what I have going on or whatever, like I could garden. I like to paint, you know, like I just do things. I always have something to do. I'm just totally that kind of person. Like whether I have a man or not, like if I have time or whatever, I can totally fill it with whatever. Okay, like it's just like that. Like my days could go by and by, literally, and I not be entertained by any man, because I entertain myself. I don't know. I'm a firstborn. I don't know, but with my own mental, with my own stuff, with my own thoughts, with my own music, with my own whatever, right? But if I am with somebody, then it is hard for me to not go right into wifey mode, because that's what I've been, okay? That means, like, okay, you know, I'm that chick that's going to, you know, it's like I don't want to be stuck doing your laundry and cooking and cleaning. I don't want to be stuck always doing that at home every single day. I like the option to go out and do things. But when I am home, or if I am home, or if I haven't paid, if I'm not paying for somebody to come in the house to do certain things or whatever, because there was a time and a place for that as well. But I'm going to be the one that's going to make sure, like, you know, the underwear drawer is completely, you know, they're rolled up nice and neat, and all of your t-shirts are folded up, okay? And that, you know, like, the towels are folded a certain way and in the linen closet. And, you know, like, one of my number one punishments for my boys, or if I have any children in the house, right? My number one punishment is clean those baseboards, okay? Because I hate messy baseboards. I don't like nasty baseboards. That's disgusting to me. I don't like seeing little hairs everywhere. Okay, so it's gonna get clean. So either I gotta clean it, or I gotta make one of these kids, when they do something, I gotta make them do it. I'm like, okay, drop and give me 20 minutes of baseboards or whatever, 10 minutes of baseboard cleaning. You know, I'm gonna put a sponge in their hand and be like, get down there and clean. That's what I do. So like when I'm at home, or once I'm, you know, I'm very much wifey, and I am honestly entertained by just literally maintaining life when I'm in a relationship. Maintaining life. So what do I mean by that? Like, okay, I'm a picker, because why? I'm a licensed esthetician. Like, I'm a picker. It means I like to pick at your face, right? Anybody that knows me and knows my mother, or knows like my family, like, we're pickers. We're the people who will literally, like, we like to get the hair bumps. I mean, I keep tweezers everywhere. Like, I literally have like tweezers everywhere. I keep them in my car. I keep them in my purse, you know? Like, look, I have tweezers everywhere. Why? Because, you know, you never know when you got an ingrown hair that you got to get out. You just never know when you got to tweeze some hairs or whatever, right? That's me. That's just who I am. And I do that for everybody. I'll do that to my own mother. I've done it to everybody. Like, I'm a picker, right? If I love you, I care about you, I'm going to be like, yo, we got to get that little hair, whatever, we got to do this. Whatever. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm an OCD. I'm entertained by those things. So much so that if you know me, I like to watch the pimple popping on YouTube. Like, I like to watch that. Some people think that's gross, but you know what? I've always watched it. And when I first discovered them years ago, before my late husband passed, I was addicted. I've been stuck and addicted ever since. Okay, so I'm not addicted to, like, drugs and alcohol and anything bad, because I don't want to ruin my body. I never did. I never put one cigarette to my mouth, ever, or anything. I've never smoked a single thing. Not in high school, not now. I never will. I won't do it. I like my lungs the way they are. I like my teeth. I like the way they are. Like, I like that. Like, I don't want to change all that, okay? I'm not trying to add any oxidative stress to my body, okay? Like, that's just, I've always been very prissy when it came to drugs and alcohol. Like, I decided many years ago as a child on my own, but also just knowing the health problems of doing all that stuff, I decided, nope, I don't want to do it. Okay? Call it vain, call it whatever you want, but that's just me. But I do get addicted to dumb things like pimple popping or whatever. Okay? Or certain sounds. Like, I like certain sounds. I'm a tactile person, so I like, you know, certain feelings. A squeeze ball or whatever, you know, like, you know, I like, if I like a certain show or something on TV or whatever, of course I'm going to watch that. But believe it or not, like, I also absolutely like I love to swing, and I like rocking chairs. Like, I absolutely like to rock and swing. Like, that's it. And I like to spend, like, time doing that by myself. I mean, I don't care if I do it with a person, but I like doing that. Like, I've always liked doing that. So, like, when I say, like, I never really look to a man to entertain me. I don't need to be entertained. So, the way that I've always, like, actually, truly, like, seen how a man fit in my life, like, really, and this is, again, if you're a friend of mine, or you're anybody in my inner circle, anybody that I talk to, you already know, I've already said this to you, you already know this is true. But truth be known, is like, yes, can I appreciate a good man? Do I respect a good man? Yes. All those things. If you are a grade A stand-up man, I'm like, yes, I'm very happy to know you, happy to keep you in my life, whatever, that's great. Okay. But, like, because I come by my own internal compass for what's right and wrong, as far as God, or as far as, like, what I want to get done, or my goals, or whatever, or how I want the layout of my life to be, like, work-life balance. Like, I don't want to work so much where I have no balance in life. I've only ever, like, all my life, I can't work crazy hours, like, forever and ever and ever. Okay, like, I have my own internal way, right? So, like, when a man comes to my life, he is, like, to me, what I've always actually been kind of attracted to, or what how I always view them, is kind of like, it's going to sound so terrible. I don't want to say pets, because I don't mean like a pet, but you ever just like, okay, that feeling of like when you have a new pet, okay, it's like, oh, look how cute he is. Look what he does. Look at the tricks he does. Yay. Here's a treat. And I'm hoping that this man doesn't, try to steer me in the wrong direction, because I willingly submit to the God assigned arrangement of a woman, right? So when I'm in a relationship, it's like, I know I got to follow your lead. But if you don't lead me, or you don't really, if you give me leeway, I'm going to still I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to do what I always do. Like, I have my own agenda. So I don't need a man to come in my life and give me an agenda, okay? If I ask for advice or help or something, that's different, because I appreciate that. That means I'm looking for something in particular, something that maybe you're good at or something you can talk to me about. And I have several men like that in my life. When my dad was alive or whatever, like I would talk to my dad. Certain things, yes, I would absolutely go for when I demand for something in particular. But I don't necessarily look for that as far as a relationship partner. Like, for me, relationships are more fun. They should be, for me, they've always been more fun. It's like more fun. It should be a fun-filled moment. It shouldn't be drama, toxic behavior, all kinds of crazy whatever. I don't trust you. I secretly hate you. I'm jealous of you. I secretly don't want you to win. Or weird stuff, like secret agendas or whatever. Like, all that is like, no, I just don't operate like that. And I don't need that. Like, I don't want that. I'm just very simple. So it's kind of like, I have this way of saying, like, if you've ever watched like the 10 Commandments, I was telling somebody this the other day, but if you ever watched the 10 Commandments when Moses was sent out into the wilderness to get prepared by Jehovah God, right, for his big mission. And remember when he was like passed out or whatever before the daughters of Zepta, whatever, like those, before they found him, and this is in the movie, the 10 Commandments, right? And remember, like, he passed out or whatever, and like when the daughters, the women, they found him like passed out from heat exposure or whatever, and they were like doing their chores or their housework, and they see him, and all of a sudden they're like, what are you looking at? They're like, oh my God, it's a man. A man? Oh, it's a man. Yay, we get to dance. We get to have fun tonight. Let's invite him over. It's a man. Okay? That's literally how I look at it. Like, oh, when I find a good one that I like, that's attractive or that's decent or whatever, and he treats me, I'm like, yay, I got a man. Yay, he's a man. I'm not going to say I don't have high expectations, because I really don't. I mean, it's like that, and that sounds terrible to say, because the thing about it is like, it's just, I expect to be treated right. That's it. I only expect to be treated right and put on the pedestal in that way, because I know I'm going to treat him like a king, and I'm going to be like, detailed with him. Like, I'm going to make sure, like, I'm going to notice his breathing patterns. Okay, so that's how I am. So because I know how I am or whatever, I just want to be treated right and be respected for the effort and all the energy that I'm going to pour into this person, right? That I know if he loves me, he's going to pour into me as well. It should be a give and take thing, and it should just happen naturally if two people actually love each other, right? But I just know as a woman, I know like what I'm kind of good at in my details, and I know what a man is kind of like good at. He's good at whatever he does, like a hammer and nails, like fixing stuff, and foreseeing things, like foresight, all that kind of stuff, making big decisions or whatever. Like, I don't know. And I'm just like, yay, be a man. He's a man. Yay. I don't have to do this. I'm glad I don't have to do that. Good. I'm glad he's here. There's a roach over there. No, I don't do roaches, but there's a bug. Go kill the bug. There's a spider. Oh my God. Good. He's tall. He can get it. He's not scared. Whatever. I heard a noise. It's dark outside. Go out. Please go look or whatever. Like, that's that stuff to me. Like, seriously, like other than that, like, I don't look to a man to actually be entertained. I'm just naturally entertained. If I naturally am attracted to you, then I'm entertained. Because if I literally see a hair out of place or something, I'm going to pick it. If you have a pimple, like I've been that way my whole life. My late husband used to lay his head in my lap, and I would pick his hair bumps out for hours. And I'm entertained by that. I'm so entertained by that I'm one of the millions of people who watch those videos on YouTube of pimples at night. Like people who, I literally watch that. Like, so I don't know. I don't need to be entertained by any man. Okay. And if I am entertained, like to me, that's all extra. That's just bonus icing on the cake. If you happen to know how to, like, you know, sing, or if you happen to know how to, like, you know, go to, you know, make some muscles, like you lift up weights or you power lift, or if you happen to be good at, like, you know, whatever, buying selling houses or rehab, you know, fixing things, you know, like making things look good, you know, a carpentry and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm impressed. I'm like, whoa, I'm impressed. Because why? Because those are like man things that I'm not really trying to do. I don't want to change a tire. Do I know how to? Yeah, I know how. I intellectually know how to change a tire. Will I ever do it? No. Have I ever done it? No. Do I want to do it? No. It's like, I want to be independent. Sure, I'm all those things, like, as far as a woman. But, like, there's plenty of things that are just like, that's not my lane. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just, you know, pay for somebody to do that for me, or just have a husband who knows how to, you know, change a tire, you know, change the oil, you know, put gas in the car, whatever, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. So, like, for me, I'm so simple. And I know I guess I don't come across that way. Apparently I don't. Because I have heard now from several very distinguished, very established, very well put together men that I respect, actually, men that I actually respect, really respect. I respect what they do. I respect who they are. I respect them. And I even like them, whatever, you know, like, I've passed no bad judgment over these men in any way, shape, or form. And they have said to me, and I'm literally telling you, like, more than 3 have said to me that I apparently made them feel like they couldn't entertain me, or they couldn't keep me, or they're not sure if they have what it takes to entertain me or keep me. Or basically what's being said is there is a form of insecurity. I'm somehow pulling out insecurity out of these grown men who are, to me, way more established than me, or even just, I don't know, like, I think, like, I don't even know what to say. I don't want to say they're better than me, because I don't look at men and women that way. I don't even really look at people that way, because everybody is different with what they bring to the table, like who they are, their gifts, like how they show up. But, like, I don't know. These are men that I would be like, I highly respect. I just don't see them like that. Like, I couldn't believe that they would think that I, you know, or there's that much insecurity. But what I have noticed has been the common thread with all of these men, at least these particular 3 that I know for a fact, have had rough prior relationships where they got hurt. They literally got hurt by the last female they were with, or a prior relationship. Literally, this is the common denominator that I've noticed. And so therefore, their insecurities is coming out, and it's like they haven't actually done whatever they needed to do, or whatever, to overcome whatever bad treatment they received from the last relationship. Like, they're allowing the insecurities from the last person to infiltrate the one in front of them, right? And they're just assuming, because maybe the last one cheated or did something, I don't know, and they're just assuming that the same thing is going to happen. And it's really self-sabotage is what it really is. It boils down to self-sabotage. Okay? It's like, okay, I won't be able to keep you anyway, or whatever, so I'm just going to go ahead and, you know, knock myself out or whatever. And I'm going to put it on you and say, you probably, you know, won't like me, or you won't stay, or whatever. Like, that's assuming that every person is like your last chick, right? And that comes when you haven't done what you've needed to do to actually properly move on from the last hurt or the prior pain that you have experienced. So, like, when you take time to actually lick your wounds and do some shadow work and actually, like, reflect on some things and make some changes, right? And understand, like, okay, here, your issues are a bowl of spaghetti. Like my mom used to say, your issues are a bowl of spaghetti. Dump it out on the table, and you pull each one out like this. And you know who's responsible for this one and who's responsible for this. And when you can kind of, like, come away from that and say, yeah, you know what, it was my bad with this and this and this when it came to that situation. But it was her bad for this, and this, and it, right? Then you can kind of, like, start to move on and get a grasp, right? But if you are single, right, or if you are a man and you are, like you want to be with somebody, or you like this person in front of you, or you want to pursue this person, you love them, whatever, and before the relationship can get off the ground or even go anywhere, you're already saying, I don't think I can keep you, and you're already coming up with all the reasons why it won't work out in your mind for this interpersonal relationship, okay? That's self-sabotage, and that is a clear sign that you need some help. You need some counseling, or you need to like pray to God. You have a come to Jesus moment. You got to work some things out, okay? Because when you forgive, like the healed version, when you are healed enough to move on, you can say, yeah, bad things happen in the world, and sometimes relationships go bad, and sometimes people are untrustworthy. Sometimes people do decide to be a narcissist, or sometimes people are secretly hiding things or whatever. But I'm going to trust this person because they're a new person. I'm going to trust them until they give me a reason to not trust them. It's like glass half full. I'm going to trust until I see something different, until they show me in their behavior, until they show me in their actions, in their words or whatever, that they're untrustworthy. And when they are, I'll take the action, the needed action, to leave, to make that energy remove. Yeah, I'll be hurt, but guess what? You get over it. You lick your wounds, you get over it with God's help, with God's eternal love, because this is the thing. If you claim to be a lover of God, if you claim to be a worshiper of God, God is love. That's just what it is. God is love. That's what the Bible says. God is love. God is love. So, if you are restricting love in your life in some way, shape, or form, you're putting yourself farther away from God. And the whole point is to allow God in your life to receive love, to give love freely. And yeah, everybody's been hurt. Everybody has gone through some sort of, especially at this age that I am now, at this point, I'm dealing with people who have already, there is nobody, I'm not dealing with 20-year-old boys or, who are like, never had a real relationship. So they have like no issues, or, they don't come with baggage. Everybody at this age, people come with baggage. At this age, you have had children, had relationships, had a good relationship, a bad relationship. Maybe you were widowed like me. You've had jobs. You come with baggage. You might have good credit, bad credit. Who knows? I don't know. Whatever. Okay, the point is that you've lived some life. And at this point, you are, you probably do have a situation. But that's okay to have a situation, right? But to actually know when you're ready to actually, like, welcome a new situation in your life, especially a love situation, you have to be okay with letting go of the old, first of all, letting go of your past, not bringing in your past traumas, past situations, or whatever into the new. If you want an extraordinary love, if you want a divine love, if you want a good love, a real love, an extraordinary love, it's going to require some extraordinary sacrifices. Like your situation. Someone like me, for example, who knows how to be a wifey, who is a wifey, okay? Someone like me who has confidence, who doesn't stand for bad treatment, who will leave if I'm treated bad. I don't mean leave at an argument. I don't mean just leave at one argument. No. I mean like bad treatment. Okay? And that is different for everybody. But arguing is a part of life or whatever, and I get that. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. Literally, I would be still married today if my first husband was alive. But he's not, okay? So, we made it through somehow 17 years, and that was when I was young, okay? What I'm saying is that if you're scared about somebody who has confidence, who knows that she can leave and will leave, and God will look out for her if she's being treated bad, and if that scares you, then it's like you're looking for a green light, or you want your green card to treat somebody bad. What you're saying is that I already know I have issues, I'm toxic, and I need somebody who's toxic with me. I'm not the chick for that. I'm not the one. I'm not that one. Go ahead and pass. Left, swipe left, look left, swipe, whatever you gotta do, like, keep on passing. Whatever. Like, go over there with that. Okay, I don't have no time for that. No time for drama. I don't like toxic, right? But I'm also like very vocal, and I do feel like I offer a lot of grace. I feel like I offer a lot of grace. Why? Because Jesus Christ taught us to be that way. You know, and I'm also, I freely give love because I freely want to receive love. I want to feel love, and I can identify love. I can identify love. I can identify the feeling of love. I can identify when I am receiving love, even if the person doesn't tell me that he loves me. Even if the person is not saying they love me, I can still tell when I am loved. And I can tell when I am loved and that person isn't anywhere near me. I can feel that. My family, the way we are and everything, we're a family of empaths, and I'm highly sensitive. Okay? And I allow the feeling of love around me. Because love is the main purpose of living. To give love and to receive love is the main purpose of living. And it also is the closest to God that you can ever feel. So if you are stopping love or not allowing love in your life for various reasons, but basically for self-sabotaging reasons, or you don't trust the person in front of you, I understand there is a lot of shiesty women out there, just like there's a lot of shiesty men out there. And all the ones who are negative Nancy's and men and women who are thinking glass half empty, you will continue to get glass half empty results. And you'll stay there until you make a decision to not be that type of a person, to not allow your past experiences to cloud your judgment. And also understand that others that you may be talking to, if their glass is half empty and they give you advice, their judgment's going to also be glass half empty. And so at some point in your life, you have to take control over yourself and say, you know, I need to work on this because I don't want to project the fears from the last relationship onto the person in front of me who is not showing any signs of being a hoe or being a cheater or being, abusive or disrespectful or a user. She's going to take my money and run, or all of that. Because when you don't do that, you just self-sabotage good relationships. And then what do? You literally regret that for the rest of your life. You just regret it. That's all you do. You regret the good one that was actually good. You regret letting her go because your toxic, your lack of healing led you to the unhealed version of you over there. And you're kicking yourself. You kick yourself and you'll wish that you didn't do that, but it's like, people want to hear what they want to hear, and they can only see and digest certain things when they're ready to, right? Like when you're ready to digest certain facts, then you'll be able to do something about it. Then you'll hear it and know that it's for you. And I'm only saying this because I've literally had this conversation. I promise you, to be honest, at this point, I would say within this last year, I've had this same exact conversation at least about 6 times with 6 different men. Like I said, at least, actually. But here recently, with a few, but like I said, these men would be men that I would consider to be well qualified individuals to maintain a relationship, a healthy relationship, if they wanted to, and they're decent men. They're very good men. And I think it's so funny because me and a friend of mine, a group of us actually, we were talking. This guy was saying like, oh, I'm so rare because I'm a black man that's, makes over a certain amount every, whatever. I make over 100,000 a year, and I have a degree or something. I don't know, whatever he was saying. Like, according to this app, it's like 4% of black men are blah, blah. And I was literally like laughing. Like, I was like, because he was like, in other words, the chances of me finding something like, first of all, those are not my stipulations First of all, those are not my stipulations at all. I don't need an app to go through and check off what I'm looking for in a man, or, to try to like, no, I'm not doing all that. No, I am a heart-led person and God leads me. I flow and go where I am led by the Spirit, by good energy, and by the Holy Spirit. This is the way I operate. When God wants to, I don't want to say send me a husband, but here's the thing. In the Bible, God always presented the woman to a man. Like, the man had to find the woman or set out to look for the one, whoever this woman was, right? And that woman presented herself, right? She was there. She crossed paths with this person, whoever. It's in the Bible all over. There's many examples of this. Like, this is just the way how God operates. Like, he created the man and said, no, it's not good. He looked at the man and said, you need a helper. Not quite right. You need a helper. Okay, this is how God created man and woman. Like, this is how he created us. He created the man and said, you need a helper. I'm going to make a woman. I'm making a woman for you. Here she is. Okay, this is what it is. So here's the woman. She's here to help. She's the helpmate. Okay, and then this is the arrangement. This is the way God created it. So God knows as a man, you need a woman. Like, you don't need a woman. Nobody, okay, we all can live and breathe without any other human being. But to live your best life, right? To elevate and live in the best, highest, closest place to God possible, with that highest frequency, right? Where you can hear God talk to you, and you know God is in your life because of the love that's around you, because of the real, true, genuine love. Not users, not liars, not manipulators, not cheaters. Okay, none of that. No, genuine love that is around you, that is presented to you, that is in your partner. Okay, that's you. That's living your best life. That's living your best life. That's what I consider to be living your best life, right? God knows that that's how he created the man, so he's going to make sure that if you are a man and you are single and you are looking for a wife or whatever, and you feel you are ready or whatever, he's going to present you with that person. He's going to present you with somebody, especially as you prepare yourself, right? Like, especially as you get toxic people, places, things, whatever, out of your life. He's not going, because God is definitely not going to send somebody like me, let's say, and put into my heart to cross paths with somebody and think that this person is my partner if he's full of toxic baggage. No, Jehovah God doesn't work like that. Jehovah God is not going to purposely put me in a situation where I'm going to be traumatized as a woman. No. Now, we all know what happened with Job and whatnot, and things happened, but it wasn't because of God. That was Satan, the devil, who was trying Job, right? God just allowed it. And as soon as he passed the test, then God swooped in and gave him back tenfold, right? Like more than enough, okay? God doesn't do that. He does not put us on purpose, like in these traumatizing situations, trauma bonding, narcissists, liars, cheaters, users, moochers, or whatever. So, like, if you got that, either if you had that in the past or you have that now or whatever your situation is, I promise you, that is not a God-ordained wife or person that you're dealing with. That's not a God-ordained spouse. If you're doing that, or if you're experiencing that, or you have experienced it, then that was not the spouse that God actually sent to you. Okay? And so if you, though, put yourself in a situation where you've cleared out all this toxic stuff, you don't have any baby mama drama, you don't have any third parties, you don't have, like, crazy issues or whatever, and you're not projecting insecurities, and you're actually ready to go, like, then when he presents that person into your life, it is up to you to now actually be trusting that God is answering your prayers, that God has answered, he's heard you, he knows what you need, and you allow that person to show themselves who they are and present whether they are trustworthy or not. And you can trust yourself to know, like, okay, if this person shows me bad treatment of some sort that is not okay with me, that's clearly not okay with me, then I have what it takes to remove myself from that person. like, if you're a man, okay, then, you know, at whatever age, it's like, then you should be able to trust yourself to know, like, okay, yeah, that will hurt. But guess what? I can man up. I can have the balls to tell that woman to go if she's going to treat me bad. And it's the same for me. I'm not going to allow bad treatment. I'm just not going to allow it. You're not going to berate me, my kids, you're not going to berate me. You're not going to make me, you're not going to get, I would never allow ever again in my life a man to get me stressed out to the point of having a stroke. No, because this has already happened to me. I'm not going to allow a man to make my hair fall out. No, I'm not dealing with that anymore. I'm not going to get to that level. I'm not. I've already been, for me, I've learned those lessons, right? Where I offered too much grace that I was glowing down, not glowing up. Okay. And so, yeah, I'm past all that. So for me, it's like, yeah, no more drama, right? No more drama. If you got drama, you got issues, you got stuff, okay, you need to work on that. Call me when you're done. Call me when you do whatever, because that's me. And that's all of us women who are actually healed, or, you know, who have healed past circumstances, bad circumstances or whatever. And there are a lot of us or whatever. A lot of times we heal ourselves out of relationships so much that we're like not even, we're not, yeah, we're like out of these men's league, if you want to say league, but has nothing to do with money, and it has nothing to do with status, and it has nothing to do with anything but the fact that we're healed and over here trusting and like giving people, like, you know, like being like go with the flow, and you know, being like an open book, so to speak, or, you know, ready to love. Okay, but all these other people, or all these other men or whatever, they got all these situations and things that they're holding on to because they're insecure, holding on to bad situations or situations that they know are going nowhere. Like I talked with a man, I think about a week or so ago. He was just like straight up, he told me, straight up, he's literally with his baby mama because of and they're not married. They're not married or whatever. But like, he's like, he knows if that he tries to put her out of the house or whatever, he's gonna have to pay for her. He's gonna have to pay child support, and he don't want to deal with that. And I'm like, and he was saying, like, you know, he's like, he already knows he's not gonna marry her. He knows he's not gonna marry her. He doesn't want to marry her. They have. He was just telling me, like, we were just having a grown person conversation. He was like, they only like take care of each other's needs basically every other month or something, or once a month or whatever. He just decides to, you know, like. And it's like, she's convenient because she's there or whatever. But honestly, they don't even like each other. And now they just got these kids. And they're just kind of like, you know. So, mediocre. Okay? That's unhealed person who is allowing and accepting a mediocre love. Somebody he already knows he has no future with. He doesn't want a future with this girl. Like, and he's literally like, okay with that. Like, well, I mean, I don't really know how okay he is with it. But you know, he's not pushing for, you know, like, we were just talking as friends, you know, like, just, you know, just two grown people talking. But, like, that was his, you know, situation or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? That's, you know, one day, at some point, you'll get tired of that. Like, you are her. One, it's going to be like, you know what? I want an elevated type of love. I don't want to be in some mediocre, you know, boring, you know, or whatever, like someone who doesn't really even fulfill my needs, or I don't even really like that person, or that person is using me for my money and I already know it, and I just don't care because all women are like that. And then when you do run into somebody who's actually not like that, you won't be able to recognize it. You can't recognize it. You can't see her for who she is. Why? Because you've allowed the toxic trauma from that relationship to stay with you. You haven't healed past that. Like, you didn't remove it. And so, yeah, that remains part of your baggage, you know, until you decide to grow some balls and, you know, that you want to live a life that's more meaningful with somebody more meaningful, you know, like, I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was because I was raised by parents who were healed, or parents who were loving, and parents who actually, I don't know. And in our family, we talked and we meditated on things. We thought about things, you know, we just discussed things, you know, because when you're, I don't know. So I guess because of that, I don't know. I think about these things. I didn't even want that as a young person. I didn't want that. Like, I never wanted that. I never wanted that type of like fake love. I always wanted real love. Really. I had that time in my life where, I was moving from an unhealed place when I lost, my late husband. And I did, purposely not try to fall so deep in love because I didn't want to be hurt like that again. And I even identified it even while I was doing it. I knew it was like wrong on one level. I knew it was wrong, but on the other level, I just couldn't actually move forward. It wasn't my time yet to actually not think like that because of the situation that I was in with having the boys and me being the age that I was. It wasn't like a lot of people, when they're widowed or whatever, they're up in age and, your kids are grown and your life is not moving in that type of direction. You may not even be thinking about being sexually active or anything like that. So, you don't have any kind of pressing reasons to try to, move on or whatever, but it was like, yeah, that took time for me to actually get past that. But even then, at least I identified it. I knew what I was doing. Like I knew it, and I don't know, but I just feel like, all that did was convict me. It convicted me to be even more passionate the next go around, to be like, no, I don't want to live like this. I never wanted to live like this. Actually, this was not a good plan. And I don't know how people do it. So it just reconvicted me to be more passionate about the next person. I don't know. So I guess I just saying all that to say, like, I can see that there are a lot of men who are very established or whatever, good at a lot of things, but you guys definitely will all share insecurities, a lot of insecurities. And I can only say that, I am not that woman who's going to try to rip out your insecurities and step on them. Like, I'm not that one. I'm not that woman. No, I'm not that woman. That is not me. And I don't need entertainment to stay with somebody. If you have good chemistry, you will naturally find yourself wanting to be around that person, and you will naturally find yourself not wanting to leave that person's space. You will naturally want to be in that person's energy field. You will both naturally feel that way. When there's true, genuine chemistry on both sides, it's more like you have to force each other to separate. And it's not because somebody's doing some sort of song and dance to entertain somebody. It's just what it is. When there's true chemistry, and especially when the chemistry turns into a love, and then the love becomes a real love, and the love has had some time to develop, then it just becomes bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh. The two become one. That's just what it becomes. If it's real, it's a very natural thing. It just happens. It doesn't require entertainment. And if she does, and if you have entered into the type of relationship where it is a friends with benefits or a, partnership of some kind that it has to do with, I scratch your back, you scratch mine, or whatever, it's fine. Everybody, you're grown. People are grown enough to do whatever they want to do. And if that suits your needs at the moment, or that's where you're at in your life or whatever, and that's what you want, then hallelujah, go for it. You do you, boo. And find each other on whatever, Plenty of Fish, Swipe, whatever platforms and single, apps that are, I don't know. I don't have those apps. I'm not on those apps. If you see my face on any of those apps, it's not me. You're getting fished. Okay? I'm just letting you know. I'm not on a single dating app. I'm not there. You won't find me there. I meet enough people on my own daily. And when I am with somebody and I'm actually, married up, then I act married. And I put my blinders on like this. Okay, because I don't pride myself in being a cheater, or I don't pride myself in having multiple men, or feel like I am the kind of woman who, like, I don't need multiple men. I don't want multiple men. I don't like that feeling. I'm not that kind of a person. So for me, I shut everything down. I shut my options down. So for me, like, basically, it's like whoever presents himself to me that there's good chemistry and he's actually single, really, really single, ready to mingle, and he happens to, you know, like if this person has all the qualities that I'm looking for as far as what I need or what I like or whatever, you know, and then I have that for him, and we actually have that chemistry going on or whatever, and he's actually single and actually ready to make a move or whatever, then to me, like, then it's a green light. Basically, and that's how I look at it. Like, you know, all these other, like, situations and, you know, baby mama dramas and third parties and situations that they're trying to work out, figure out, and all that kind of stuff. No, there's a reason why I have that on my no list. I can't deal with all that. I'm not trying to deal with drama. I'm not trying to deal with drama. I'm not trying to deal with jealousy from some other woman who is trying to figure out, you know, whatever, how to, you know, whatever, throw, you know, stones over my way or whatever, because there's jealousy there because you haven't nipped that in the bud and actually been truthful with her from, like, day one or from the rip. Like, when you decided it was actually over, you should have actually said that instead of leading her on, making her think that she actually wants to be, you know, that you actually want to be with her, or that she's actually your type, or all of that stuff. That's lying. That's lying, and you rack up bad karma. You rack up a lot of bad decisions and a lot of you just rack up a lot of bad things in your life, and stuff that you got to overcome, and situations that, and things that you're not supposed to be a part of. When you lie, like, when you lie like that, where you're withholding the truth or whatever, you just are prolonging your growth. That's all you're doing, is prolonging your growth for something better. And the thing is like, that's the thing with me. Like, for me, I'm such an open person. I'm so honest about things. And even with my second marriage, I was very honest. I was very open and honest about a lot of things. Maybe brutally honest. But the fact is that I was. And I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change. Because this is who I am. And because I entertain myself, I don't need a man for entertainment. I entertain myself. And I think the men that I have actually been with, like, my late husband has passed, but, like, you know, my long-term relationships, the men I've been with, they'll tell you, yeah, she can entertain herself. Like, I can literally go for hours by myself doing my own thing. Like, I can entertain myself. Like, this is why I like in my family, like, the women in my family, we have craft rooms. We like I was raised by women who, like, can sew, crochet, who garden. You know, like, I'm from that. Like, I actually have that in my generation, like my past generation. Women who actually did things like that was productive. We were productive. We made pizza. We made bread. We made, you know, like I'm half Italian. So, like, but even on my black side, like, we did things. We were productive with our time and stuff. Like, we didn't need a man to tell us to be productive, right? So, like, that's how I am as a woman. Now, I know that based on what I'm told or whatever, that I might look younger than what I am or whatever. I've been told that many times. So a lot of times men perceive me to be younger than what I am, and that I'm probably not as mature as I am. But when they get to know me and they see, oh, okay, actually, I'm a little bit older or whatever, but I'm actually mature. And actually, I'm very, like, laid back, go with the flow. Like, I really very much go with the flow. And if you're not, and if you're going to cause me drama or stress or something like that, like, for me, I'm just like, bye. Call me when you're done with that situation or whatever. Now, if it's something serious and it's not, you know, like, you need help with something, like, it's something serious, obviously I don't just leave. When I say drama, I mean, like, drama from your ex, okay? Or, you know, drama from your mother, who you've never put in her place because you've been enmeshed with her, and she wants to try to run your life still, or whatever. Like, I'm going to tell you what it is, and then I'm going to leave and be like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not competing with anybody's mother. Ever. I did that situation once in my life. I never will repeat that situation again. I don't compete with anybody, especially not a mother. I don't make my son, you know, do that. Like, that's just, I don't operate like that. My family didn't operate like that. That's toxic. That's wrong. The scriptures say different, and I don't agree with it, and I don't play along with that game. I'm not dealing with that. So like, there's a lot of things like that I'm just like, no, I remove that stuff out of my life. If you've got that, when I say drama, like, I don't mean like if you're having a bad day and it's because something at work or whatever, like that's not drama to me. That's just life stresses, and that's normal. That's okay. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. That kind of stuff doesn't make me run. But I'm talking about stuff that you willfully are, willfully allowing yourself to deal with or whatever. Like, if I was to get with somebody who has, 6 baby mamas, 3 baby mamas, or, has all this stuff, and I willingly put myself in a situation with some guy like that who has a third party at the house or wants to be at the house, or, who he hasn't actually told that he doesn't want to be with anymore or whatever like that, and he's trying to get me to, sign an NDA, this is what I call it, an NDA. What I call an NDA is a no, I don't want to say that word. I'm going to get flagged or whatever. But, a no D allowed. Okay? While you get in your situation together, I'm supposed to be signing some NDA, waiting around for what? No, I don't do that. Like, that's crazy. No. 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 If you're not really single, ready to mingle, then that's just what it is. That just means your situation is not, it's not compatible with me. It might be compatible for other women who are on a different track, and they're on a different level than me, and they're on a different whatever. And again, like I say, like, if I really didn't love somebody, I really didn't love him, and I really didn't want to be a wife kind of thing, or I really didn't want to have to be the one to be responsible for taking care of certain physical needs because I wasn't attracted to him or whatever, yeah, I might go on ahead and have a poly thing and let her deal with all that and let me reap the benefits of his money or his house or whatever, if that's the kind of time I was on. But I'm not on that time. Okay, that's not me. But I get it. Like, if I had to somehow be with somebody that, like back in the day in Bible times when you were mother-in-law, or no, when you were, if your husband died and you had it was like you were, as a woman, you were automatically went to your brother-in-law, your brother-in-law marriage or whatever. Oh God, that was horrible. I can't imagine, I couldn't imagine that. But like, okay, during those, because imagine the brother-in-law is somebody like, like the complete opposite. You don't like him. You'd be like, good, I'm glad Susie Q and this one over here, and Jephthah and Delilah, and all Jezebel and all the other women from, all these other women that you got in your tribe over here, they'll take care of you. Not me. Let me go over here and do some, gardening or sewing or whatever. I don't know. That's the only way I can fathom sharing a man. That's the only way I can fathom, is if I don't really want him. If I really don't want him. That's the only way I can fathom sharing. Otherwise, I'm not on that time. I'm not on that time. I don't do that. So I don't know. But anyway, I rambled on way too long. Oh my God. Bye.